Voice of Indonesia.
Well, listeners and viewers of Voice of Indonesia, today here in our studio we have a very speakers that we will discuss about the Belarus and Indonesian relationship cooperation that has been established since 1993. And today here in the studio we have the Belarusian ambassador to Indonesia, His Excellency Mr. Valery Kolesnik. How are you, Ambassador Kolesnik?
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you very much for calling me and inviting me to your studio. I'm feeling well.
Yeah.
Hope that you are also feeling well.
Feeling well. As I mentioned before, that the Indonesian and Belarus relationship has been established since 1993. Correct me if I'm not mistaken about that. And have been colored by various things, ranging from mutual visits between the stakeholders, delegations, and so on. So, what is your opinion about the current relationship between Indonesia and Belarus at this time?
Well, a very interesting and big question, because you touched 30 years of our relations between Belarus and Indonesia. Exactly on June 18, we celebrated 30 years anniversary. And to celebrate this date, we planted even the mangrove tree in the park of Jakarta.
Oh.
Well, but as for relations itself, they are developing since establishment diplomatic relations. We had very fruitful, high-level visits between our countries, of the parliamentarians, our head of states, the ministers, and we elaborated a very wide range of our legal basis of cooperation. We do have more than 40 agreements signed between Indonesia and Belarus. So far, we consider our cooperation and progress as positive, very positive, and friendly and open.
Okay, 40 agreements. It's a huge agreement, actually. So, can you maybe in short mention just say top 5 agreements that Indonesia and Belarus have?
Okay. Quite challenging question to remember all of them, but of course the first one is about the friendship and cooperation. Then a big series of agreements in economic area to promote trade, investment, and to protect them as well. Mm-hmm. Then we have a number of agreements in a specific area like higher education cooperation. Mm-hmm. Science and new technologies cooperation, tourism, culture. Now we have more new agreements and memorandum of understanding in more specific and concrete areas. Mm-hmm. It depends on the areas of our mutual cooperation that we agreed to extend.
Okay, so starting from economic, friendly, trade, tourism, culture, and even youth, and maybe education.
High education. And in this field, by the way, last year we reached 6 agreements between 6 MOU between Indonesian and Belarusian universities. Okay. And in Indonesia, there are universities in Ankara, there are universities in Jakarta, in Semarang, in Surabaya, in Medan, in Belarus also a number of regional universities signed agreements. So far we now have different programs of cooperation and promote from our side to invite people from Indonesia to study, to have high education, and from Indonesia, we do have also a proposal to study Bahasa language, the culture of Indonesia, economy here in Indonesia. So far.
So, Ambassador Kolesnik, my next question is, why is those cooperations become very important for both countries?
Well, because Indonesia and Belarus, we are open countries. We are members of the United Nations system. We do have membership in non-aligned movement, and even we had cooperation even broader than established relations in 1993.
Yes.
So far, we are open for good contacts. We are open for trade. We are open for economic cooperation and industrial cooperation. It's our goal to promote peace. It's our goal to promote prosperity and security, not in only our region, but also in this region. And we understand that now there are many players, not only one or two players. So our economies are connected, well connected. We are supplying some goods, commodities to Indonesia. Indonesia supply goods and commodities to my country. So far, we have to continue this good, fruitful dialogue between our countries.
Yes, of course. And it seems to me that G2G, B2B contact is already developed well at present. What about P2P, people to
You
people?
mean in people to people?
Yes.
Oh, of course. My understanding that our people know many things about Indonesia, location, that it is big country with big population, that it's a country on the thousands of islands, and many people visit in this region. They are looking for Bali, and not for Bali only, but for other islands as well. And they're interested in the culture to promote, not only promote, to be acknowledged with the culture of Indonesia. Because it's different from our culture, and it is very interesting for people to learn from each other how they're living, the food industry, what they're eating, what are their general beliefs, etc., etc. So far, our people like to visit this region. They love to be here, and after pandemic limitations were cancelled, we see that more people, once again, returning to Indonesia, to Bali, to different islands.
Okay, talking about this people-to-people contact, like people, Indonesian people know well about Belarus, and Belarusians also know well about Indonesia. And before you touch on, there are 6 education institution agreement on education.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you have just say maybe data that how many Indonesian students study in Belarus and Belarusians study here in Indonesia?
Well, figures are not very big in general if we just take figures themselves, but every year we have students from Indonesia. And every year we have up to 10 people from Belarus in Indonesia, close to that, studying language, studying culture.
Okay. You also mentioned that there has been a good cooperation, a higher visit between Indonesia and Belarus. So I know that the defense sectors is also a potential, maybe for both countries to put on their cooperation also.
Yeah, exactly. We are peaceful people. We are talking that we are peaceful. We are for the peace, and we contributed as a country after we get independence in 1991 a lot to international security and regional security. We withdrew all nuclear weapons from our territory. We reduced our army from 250,000 to 60, 70,000. So far, we were very heavy equipped with different kinds of ammunition. But at the same time, we had very good school in Belarus, high school as well, in the field of military industry.
Military industry.
And today, we keep this potential, and not only keep, but also developing this potential in military industry, and many companies working not only for the civic products, but also for the military and dual-use products. So far, we promote and cooperate with many countries in the world, including Indonesia, in this field. And one of the very promising field, optoelectronics, optical and electronics.
Okay.
Well, we are cooperating with a number of Indonesian companies. We are developing and exploring possibilities of cooperation with companies like Pindad.
Okay, Pindad.
Yeah, we are visiting always military exhibition in the defense, and many officials and businessmen from Indonesia are also visiting military exhibition in Belarus. So far, we continue this cooperation and extend it to keep national armies on the high level.
Yes, Ambassador Kolesnik, as we know that there are several leading sectors of Belarus, like just say potassium, and also Belarus is also good in cancer treatment. So how those sectors can say contribute to the relationships of the two countries?
Well, different fields. Potassium is
Yes,
one field.
One field, and
It's
the
about
cancer
food,
another.
Yeah, it's the cancer
Health
treatment another one. But we will. I will try to explain.
Yeah.
Well, as for the potassium, we are one of the biggest exporters in the world of potassium, and Indonesia for us is very important market in this region in Southeast Asia. Well, our export to Indonesia amounted up to $200 million.
200 million
US dollars. Yeah.
just for potassium.
Just for potassium.
Okay.
Not every year, but it's, I mentioned the biggest one.
Yes.
Yeah?
Okay.
But as for food security at all, you know that some problems are going on the international arena with food security, with potassium as well. And we are trying to be a reliable partner, and we are looking for the new business matching. We understand the necessity of agricultural sector of Indonesia in potassium. That's why we are working very closely, B2B and G2G as well. So, and we continue to do so. But if we are talking about food security, I would like to mention one more field. This is dairy products.
Dairy products.
Yeah.
Okay.
Belarus is also has good potential and big potential in dairy products. For example, according to international observation, we keep the third or fourth place in the world for butter, milk butter.
Milk butter.
Yeah, but we have different kinds of milk products, and our export in dry milk, milk powder is increasing. Last 2 years. We understand that we have to supply halal-approved products. In this case, we signed last year a memorandum of understanding on halal products with your authorities, and now we continue to implement all rules to be eligible to bring products according to halal standards to Indonesia. Well, as for the cancer treatment or oncology treatment, yeah, unfortunately, my country went through the Chernobyl disaster, this nuclear power plant, in 1986. Since that, the challenge for us, for a new generation, for the government was to establish reliable system, medical system of monitoring and treatment of such diseases like oncology and cancer. Up to now, we established more than 9 special centers well equipped with very good personnel, medical personnel, who are dealing not only with Belarusian customers, but also they are open for international cooperation. And I understand that this field is also very promising if you need monitoring with telemedicine, with special equipment. We have quality like in European countries, high standards, but as I was told by specialists, the prices are quite reasonable and much more lower than in European countries. So, but if you need this information more concrete, or people can ask about this question to receive a special request or to receive special information on case-by-case issues, they can address our embassy, our consular service, and we will provide them with the reliable information and will help them assist to connect to these medical centers.
Okay. My question is, is this technology has been applied in Indonesian hospitals? Maybe the technology the Belarusian has for this cancer treatment already
I see.
applied in Indonesian hospitals?
Well, I'm not an expert in this field, concrete field, but I'm sure that if our experts from both sides would be connected,
Yes.
they can discuss, exchange, and come to some conclusions to feedback in this specific question. But yeah, good question. We have to talk about with on this topic with our friends in Indonesia, and if we receive such requests, we will definitely exchange views.
Okay. Okay. Ambassador Kolesnik, you also touched about the halal product. Okay. So, what is the potential of the two countries for this sector?
Well, potential is big because you're one of the biggest Muslim countries,
Yes.
and your market, halal market, is very wide.
Wow, very big.
Yeah, and we understand that good competition is going on this market. So far, we are taking all steps to be prepared for this competition. And signing last year of memorandum of understanding on halal products was one of the important steps from the government of my country. Well, our business who are looking to enter this market understand the rules of games, and we can propose a number of food products on this market. Why I am sure about that? Because we are providing and export the same halal products to a number of Arabic countries, which are also Muslim countries.
What kind of product?
Meat products, poultry products, dairy products,
Okay.
sometimes perfume products as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, Ambassador Valery Kolesnik, as we know, after the COVID declare from pandemic to endemic here, even in Indonesia, what are the opportunities for the two countries to raise their cooperation, collaboration in various sectors?
Well, I think that the most affected sector of economy after COVID pandemic was tourism.
Tourism.
As for Indonesia, as for Belarus as well.
Okay.
We lost some logistic lines. We lost tourists in this region, and this is very important that our government taking steps just to come back to normal cooperation in tourism and to open it. We thankful that our people coming to Indonesia can get visa on arrival.
Yes.
As for Indonesian tourists to Belarus, they can enjoy 30 days visa-free regime.
Okay. As you say that there is a big potential for tourism sector, so what is the possibility for the two countries to have, or just say to open a direct flight?
Okay, good question. Good question. It depends on the number of tourists. Yeah, as I
Yes, of
understand.
course.
And today we are connected through some other connecting cities like Istanbul, like Moscow, like Tashkent recently. But we are ready to discuss the question of the direct flights with Indonesian companies. As I know, recently we sent such a proposal from our authorities to the Indonesian companies and specifically to Garuda.
So,
To Garuda.
is there
To
any
consider
Okay.
a possibility.
Any
We are
possibility.
ready to discuss,
Yes.
but we understand that this is a question not only just from of the will,
Yeah.
just a wish. This is also a question of economy, yeah.
Yes.
But we analyze the situation and we see that sometimes the flights are not between only two cities, yeah.
Yes.
They connect maybe two cities here.
Yes.
For example, Jakarta, Kuala Lumpur,
Kuala Lumpur.
and on other side, for example, Moscow and Minsk, or
Yeah.
something like that, Minsk and St. Petersburg, or I don't know.
Yes.
It's up to the specialists to see inside, but it is possible.
Yeah.
It is possible.
Hope there will be progress soon.
Yes, we hope so.
Yeah.
Because you have all seasons a good warm weather.
Yes. And we know that many Indonesians love traveling. You can find any Indonesian tourists in any country in the world. They love traveling.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. It seems that my producer already gives signal that we come to the end of this conversation. Ambassador Valery Kolesnik, thank you very much for your coming, your attendance to our studio. But before we close this conversation, is there anything that you want to say to our listeners out there? Because our program, the Voice of Indonesia's program, can be listened around the world. Please.
Well, I would like to use this opportunity to say thanks, many thanks to the people of Indonesia for their openness and friendship with Belarus people. We see that our countries are open and have open mind and promote cooperation, people to people, business to business, government to government. And I would like to wish your country and your people prosperity, peace and stability in the region. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Well, listeners of Voice of Indonesia and the viewers of Voice of Indonesia, that's my very interesting conversation with His Excellency Belarusian Ambassador to Indonesia, Mr. Valery Kolesnik. We hope that our conversation will bring, good information and bring good opportunity for both the government and the people of the two countries. I'm Dalal Pane. Thank you and see you again.
Voice of Indonesia.